Celtics. He'll weave in and out of traffic all. We welcome you to Noche and Beyond here on 2K Sports. From the attire to the food, the players' jerseys. Tonight, a celebration of the Latin culture. This is Kevin Harlan along with Greg Anthony and Brett Barry. David Aldridge will be reporting from the sidelines. Now that we have a second, let's take a quick peek at the rebounding numbers for the last handful of seasons for Adebayo.
On the boards, he's been a much bigger presence in these last few years than he had been prior. And he can be counted on now to make an impact with his rebounding. And that's a product of all the work he's put in down low.
And nothing tips off a broadcast like getting the lowdown from the sidelines. And we've got David Aldridge there for that. David, good evening.
Guys, Celtics coach Brad Stevens is known for his play calling. Ron James said he has so many different wrinkles. You've got to keep your head on a swivel. He'll run something you've never seen before. But Stevens said, honest to God, I've stolen everything we've ever done from somebody else. Kevin?
I love his honesty. All right, thank you, D.A. And the guys up front may determine, Brent, the outcome tonight. What elements make for a fantastic front court?
Well, nowadays it's about skilled front court players, guys who have the ability to not only shoot it, but also dribble handoff, make decisions with the basketball to help open up and spread up your offense for your guards and your quicker players to slash and find those gaps.
So let's take a look at the Boston Celtics starting lineup. Hayward at small forward with Tatum at the 4. Tucker and Brown, they're manning the backcourt. And it's Tice in at the 5, roaming the paint. And for the Heat, Jones is out there with Bam Adebayo. Then it's Robinson. Then there's Jimmy Butler. And it's Nunn in at the point. He hangs in there and cashes in on the second chance points.
That is really good work there on the offensive glass.
Outside, Walker. And there's the pass to Tatum. A three-pointer off the mark. Heat out offense. Nunn passes to Robinson. Pass to Nunn. 6 to shoot. He claims that one off the back iron, and down it falls.
That's a high percentage look when the D doesn't fight over the screen.
Yeah, the coach over there just asking for one simple thing, and that's some effort. Got burned on that one.
And here's Brown outside. Buries the long-range jumper.
Great to see Brown drop that perimeter jumper, showing off his terrific stroke from beyond the arc.
Nunn passes to Robinson. Outside Butler. To the left wing. Nunn. No good on the shot. So the Celtics will take it the other way. They come into this one following a loss to the Thunder.
And the fact they still had a chance to win that game, I find to be somewhat amazing, because it was clearly an off night for most of their guys.
I'll tell you, if they had pulled that game out, it would have been an amazing win, because they made a bunch of mistakes. Nothing was going their way, and somehow they still nearly won it.
The high post shot. A nice shot by Tatum. Tatum's got his second basket of the night.
How about 3 or 4 up the floor to start? That's always a good sign.
Here's Nunn. He picked up 18 points in their last win against Washington. It's good. Nunn's got his second bucket of the game to go.
Oh, perfect timing there to knock down the teardrop.
And Walker kicks to Tice. And a little over 2.5 minutes gone here in the first. Releases. Rebound by the Heat.
Well, that's the only way to take him out of his comfort zone from that range. Get right up in the jersey, force him off the spot.
Robinson passes to Adebayo. Over Tatum. No good. And it's Boston the other way. And Bam Adebayo, who just plays with so much energy when he's on the floor.
Boy, he is ferocious on both ends of the floor. Great energy player who can finish in the paint with the best of them. Very quick on his feet and can cover a lot of ground for a player his size.
Here's Nunn, guarded by Tatum. Pass to Robinson. Here's the 3. shot off.
Just enough coverage to bother that three-point attempt.
Tatum passes to Walker. Hayward against Butler. Hayward kicks to Tice. No good from outside. The Heat trail by 3. Outside Robinson. Here's Nunn. He isn't playing a big part of their offensive scheme, averaging around 15.5 points a game. The shot comes out. Great D that time from Tatum.
Things are going south right now. This is not the type of shooting that his teammates expect from him.
Well, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. They keep getting it in the paint and continue to score consistently.
Robinson passes to Nunn. Back to Robinson. Butler from outside. Miami no good on that time either. The Celtics on offense. Big run right now going for him, 11-2. Tatum. Basket counts. Tatum's got 6 points.
Awesome ability to focus there by Tatum. He just has a feel and a belief in what he's doing out there.
And Miami calls their first time out of the game. Brett, so many guys are now shooting from well beyond the arc. Who do you think has the deepest range in the league?
I think Steph Curry has the most consistent, deepest range.
Lillard is in that category.
Lillard is in there, and of course, last year's playoff win will never go away in terms of what a great memory that was. Trae Young is now entering that category, Kevin.
Yeah,
I mean, we saw that at the end of last year. His fearlessness in pulling up from just about anywhere has been pretty remarkable. And to that, I will add one Brook Lopez, who has found his way well beyond the three-point line.
He's a whole nother conversation.
We'll talk about him later.
We'll do that. And Miami going with a whole new group out there. So Boston going with almost an entire new group. Cantor checked in for Daniel Tice. Williams comes in for Gordon Hayward. Marcus Smart's checked in for Jaylen Brown. And Brad Wanamaker subbed in for Walker. Here's Dragic, and he gets the whistle. 2 free throws coming up. That's on Enes Kanter.
And the veteran Goran Dragic still producing late in his career. Not the force he once was, but always a source of playmaking and scoring.
Well, you look at the career of Dragic, Greg, he's always been a scoring point guard.
Yeah, and as Dragic has aged, he has learned to lean more and more on his outside shot. Even when his first step and speed start to falter, he'll find ways to put up points.
And he makes the first.
And while Dragic doesn't get to the free throw line all that often, when he does, he's usually pretty good.
Both free throws good from Dragic. Well, you watch Goran Dragic play, and Brent, he's so deceptive with his movement, both on and off the ball.
Yeah, I think one of the reasons why, Kevin, is the change of speeds. I also add the fact that guys who can handle the ball and are crafty and are left-handed, boy, it's tough on a nightly basis to change up your mindset to guard a guy who you know is going to go left all the time as opposed to right. Trust me, in practice, I had to do that with Manu Ginobili a ton of time in San Antonio. Dragic similar, great use of speed change.
Iguodala against Smart. Good defense by Iguodala.
Those are chances almost always you can rely on him to get you 2 points, but the D just enough to keep him out of rhythm. Having a hand up in your face makes such a difference to a shooter.
Yeah, as good as you can do without getting a block there to defend.
Guys are looking for a spark here.
Yeah, a cold stretch offensively for sure.
Tries again, and Crowder gets it to go on the assist from Olynyk.
Hard to leave any NBA player that wide open from that distance.
Wanamaker the pass to Tatum. Back to Wanamaker. That one good. Good work defensively by Crowder. Outside Dragic. It's Crowder on the wing. Rebound by the Celtics.
Well, a lot of players in the league are going to make that shot, and for him, it's pretty much automatic. It's a good defensive effort to prevent the layup.
Wanamaker looking over the floor. Back to Williams. Shoots over Dragic. The shot by Williams, no good. The Heat trail by 3. Right side Crowder with the fadeaway. And the shot is long.
That's a shot he's got to hit. You don't get many looks better from that range.
Outside Tatum to end the cold streak. That one good for 2. Tatum's got 8.
And with that length, Tatum able to rise above defenders to knock down his jumper.
Iguodala dishes to Crowder. And that's going to be too many steps. Gets the whistle on the travel. Robert Williams is checked in for the Celtics. Seconds left in the first quarter of the game. Smart passes to Williams. Back to Smart. Rebound by Olynyk. Crowder against Tatum. Inside, Iguodala kicks to Dragic. On deep. And the last shot at the buzzer doesn't go in for him. What a performance for Jason Tatum. He has been the story so far for the Boston Celtics. Scoring, rebounding. He was all over the place during that quarter. They are riding his performance right now. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. You learn about Jimmy Butler, difficult journey to where he is now. But one thing always got him through.
Basketball. That's that. It always took my mind off everything. It always made me smile. I had no cares in the world when I was shooting.
Well, you hear that so often, don't you, Greg? Between those lines can be an escape from the outside world.
And in the end, Butler's obsession became his escape. Maybe why he remained so devoted to the game.
And we welcome you back to our special Noche Latina broadcast. As the second quarter getting going right now. What do you guys think about the Celtics here in this one?
Stingy on the defensive end in that first quarter. They were just getting up into people.
Just a great job, really, of making the game ugly, trying to muck it up a little bit out there.
They've got Iguodala. He's out there with Dragic. Olynyk is out there with Jay Crowder. And it's Silva in at the 4-man position. So that's who Miami starts the second with. And the Celtics rebounding well this summer. From the loss of Kyrie Irving and Al Horford, Kemba Walker possibly a better fit for this team.
And with their young core, understandable that they didn't want to extend Horford out to age 37. A revamped roster, but I think they remain a contender in the East.
All right, let's catch up with our sideline reporter, David Aldridge.
Well, Kevin, Jimmy Butler has made several all-star teams, but he remains single-minded in pursuit of his bigger goal. Butler said, I just want to win a championship. That's all that matters. I didn't do it in high school. I'll do it in college. If I don't win it here, then I'll go to the 50 and over league someday. But I got to win a championship at some stage. Kevin?
I like that attitude. Thank you, D.A. Tatum on the wing. He's covered by Iguodala. Tatum's shot is off.
He's going to be shaking his head on that one. Knows he missed an easy one.
Yeah, you can't make them all, and you for sure you'll want him taking that kind of shot.
And here's Dragic. 11 points for him in that last game against Washington. Williams with the block.
The reach of Williams is outstanding. He uses it to perfection to deny shooters.
The Heat trail by 9. Iguodala with it. The shot, no good. Good D by Williams. Here's Smart. Takes it off the glass. Smart's got his second bucket.
Yeah, nice play by Smart. Under control in transition, something also he's improved at.
Now a timeout called by Miami. The last time these two clubs came together was also in this building, with an unfortunate ending for the home team.
Yeah, and their last time playing against this club, they fell short. A lot of cheap fouls really plagued their starting unit.
And I'm sure they learned their lesson from that game. They know they can't afford to have their first unit unavailable when the game is at critical junctures this time around.
And the Heat going with the whole new group on the floor. And a new group in for the Celtics. Daniel Tice is checked in for Williams. Hayward comes in for Tatum. Jaylen Brown's checked in for Smart. And it's Kemba Walker in for Brad Wanamaker. That's a two-pointer from Walker. It's Adebayo with the rebound. Adebayo's got 4 rebounds in this game. Butler finds Jones. It's good. He makes his first shot of the game. Last game for the Heat, they picked up the win against the Washington Wizards.
Remarkable consistency from deep. You can't count on that every game, especially on the road.
Yeah, the interesting part was they kept firing away in that game, but the defense didn't make much of an adjustment.
And this is an element of Butler's game that is deadly. He's as consistent as it gets, rising up off the pad.
And count it, the shot is good. He'll go to the free throw line.
And defensively, they're on their heels every time the ball comes inside. Well, you have to give credit to Kemba Walker, who has always found ways to improve his game year after year. Has worked on that shot, and two said enough where he can now be a handful to defend for any guard.
And with Walker, as he has progressed as a player, you know, Greg, so has his leadership.
And Kemba has been a natural leader for so long during this time. When your leader puts in the work that Kemba does, it has to inspire the rest of that roster.
Jones, no one around him. And again, Miami with the triple.
And you can see that Butler is the total package. Solid at recognizing when one of his guys is open.
Pass to Brown. From deep. That's his 4th basket of the game, and he's only taken 4 shots. Off to a good start.
And I like the back and forth here, showing confidence from range.
It seems like they're going to find out who can make the deepest threes. Right now, it's a shootout.
Tries it from 19. The Heat with a fresh 14. Here's Adebayo. Williams with the block. Just 5 to shoot. Jones the pass to none. Jacks up a 3. And there's the call on Jones. That's his first foul.
Don't underestimate him. He can knock that down.
The Celtics making a switch here. Cantor's checked in. And so it's Hayward with it. He'll bring it up for the Celtics. They've led by as many as 11 points. The pass to Tice. Outside, Walker. The feed now to Cantor. Second chance effort, and he sinks the layup. And the Celtics lead by 8.
Not a lot of resistance on the inside, and they're taking full advantage.
He lobs up the alley-oop pass. Oh, and they get in the way of the alley-oop. Not to be. Good play defensively. Here's Hayward. Again, the Celtics good for 2.
Yeah, and they're shooting really starting to pick up here in the second.
Here's Nunn. Guarded by Walker. Nunn passes to Robinson. He kicks it to Butler. That one misses. And it's Boston the other way. Following this game, they'll hit the road to challenge the Pacers at Pacers Arena in Indianapolis. Matchup falls in the middle game of this 3-game trip. Nunn can't get it to fall.
How about the timing he shows there to challenge that shot?
Yeah, not easy to do there, and that's a guy that you can tell takes every possession defensively very seriously.
Brent, talk about the length of the season. Commissioner Silver is also considering proposals to shrink the season. What do you
I think it'd be interesting, and I'm not sure financially how the league goes back from an 82-game season and ticket sales and revenue and television and how they kind of unwind what it is they've agreed to. But 70 games to me in terms of the competition, Kevin, in terms of the elevated play of the star players on a nightly basis, the fact that you probably get stars to appear in every game and not be sat out for load management and things like that, I think overall it'd be pretty healthy.
Well, the book, Greg, is the same for Enes Kanter as it's always been. Great score inside, but his defense leaves you wanting.
And Kevin, at this point, is who he is. I mean, for better or worse. Kanter is still a force off the bench to give a team some post presence in their second unit. I'm not sure he'll ever be a player to build around.
The free throw off from Kanter.
Kanter is so hungry and has the desire to be an impact player on the glass every night. A very good low post scorer who can rebound at a high level.
Butler dishes to Crowder. 6 on the shot clock. Here's none. Guarded by Smart. They grab their own miss. Rubio.
And how about the offensive rebound with a little extra punch on the putback?
You're right, Greg. As they look to trim the deficit, could we see them send a few more bodies to the boards from here on out? Maybe, just maybe.
Well, Bam at 6'10" might be a little bit undersized, but there's something in his activity on a nightly basis, Kevin, that feels like he plays bigger. Just a pogo stick, gets around, covers some ground laterally, and does a great job of both protecting the rim and finishing strong.
Free throw good. Adebayo. Celtics leading by 7. Wanamaker the pass to Kanter. Tatum on the wing. 35 seconds left in the first half of basketball. Miami's gotten it going from downtown in the second quarter. They're 3 of 3 on three-pointers. And foul on the shot, so he'll get a chance at the line. The Heat shooting their 4th and 5th attempts at the free throw line tonight. The first free throw is good. Olenek is checked in for Butler. He's off on the second. 3-second difference between shot clock and game clock. Wanamaker the pass to Tatum. In the corner, Iguodala with it. Crowder finds Adebayo. Dragic with it. From deep three-point range, and the last second attempt doesn't fall. And so it's the Boston Celtics with a 6-point lead at the end of the quarter. They've been playing some inspired defense, giving up very few easy points. It's time now to go courtside as we send you over to David Aldridge from the sideline. David, take it away.
Thanks very much, Goran. How would you say you guys have done in the first half?
I mean, we are battling. We as a team, and if we're gonna play like that, I think so we're gonna be okay.
We'll see what happens in the second half. Thanks, Goran. Back to you, Kevin.
Thanks so much, Dave, for the great interview. Don't go away, folks. We'll be back for the second half of basketball right after this.
And now, the 2K Sports Halftime Show.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to the 2K Sports Halftime Program. I'm Ernie Johnson alongside Shaquille O'Neal and Kenny the Jet Smith. Boston found themselves in a close game in the first. Their largest deficit of the period was just 4 points. They were right there within shouting distance the entire time. Taking a look at the Celtics, Kenny, what did you see from them?
Well, I love the way they're pushing the tempo, beating the defense down the floor, filling the lanes, finishing with authority, Ernie, getting to the rim and finishing hard.
And over to Shaq. What'd you think about Miami?
Well, those second chance points are huge, and they only came because of their effort. Their work on the offensive glass is what's keeping them in the game. They definitely should try to continue to stay tough on the glass. It's been key so far.
And that wraps up the halftime show. Third quarter set to begin in just a few.
And we're halfway through this one. Plenty of basketball left in a game that's been fairly even so far. If you look at Jaylen Brown, what a contribution.
Yeah, and through the first 2 quarters, he has been the offense for this team.
Yeah, he's shouldering the load right now and looking really comfortable while he's doing it.
And if you're just joining us, we've played through the first half in a game that's been fairly even so far. On the court for the Celtics, Brown and Hayward, they're the wing. Daniel Tice out there with Jason Tatum. And it's Walker in at the 1. And it's Brown missing. The Heat trail by 6. And with the summer signing of Jimmy Butler, the Miami Heat demonstrating they still can lure star talent to South Beach.
The Heat back on the rise. The Butler signing sets the stage for the summer of 2021 when they should have the cap space to sign another max player.
In the corner, it's Hayward. Lets the 3 fly, and Jones pulls it down. And it's Butler with the ball. He'll bring it up for the Miami Heat. Some solid defense from Brown.
With him struggling tonight, they need to find some other options out there to keep themselves in the game.
Robinson with the block. Second chance shot, and the layup good by Brown. Brown's got the first points of the third quarter up on the board for the Celtics. The Heat shooting 27%. The offense is just embarrassing themselves. Here's Nunn. And contact on the shot, so he'll be shooting free throws here. And Brett, with the corner 3 being such a popular shot, should we consider widening the court, making it all feel the same?
That's an interesting question, Kevin. There's been some talk around the idea of actually dissipating that three-point line into the sideline.
Yes.
I really just wanted to say dissipating, by the way.
Well, yeah, and you said it well.
The other thing, Kevin, that has been considered, what if we went back to skinnying up the lane line back to the original George Mikan days of the lane being 6 feet wide rather than what we see today at 12 feet. That would put a ton more value on post-up and 2-point play, almost so much as the 3-point shot and the 2-point shot in the post equate to the same amount of points per possession.
Yeah. And they are very comfortable running their offense through Walker. And you can see why. Drops a sick dime right there. That pass was right on the money.
Butler against Hayward. 11 feet away. Miami no good on that time either.
And they start the second half with 3 straight misses.
The basket counts and 1. They'll go to the line with a chance to make it a 3-point play.
And that bucket adds to what has been a big difference in points in the paint between the two teams.
For Boston, they have shot 2 free throws, and they're 1 of 2 so far. That's good from Kemba Walker.
And you always know what you're going to get from Walker from the line. He's been a solid, consistent free throw shooter his entire career.
Here's Nunn, guarded by Walker, and foul on the shot. He'll shoot 2 at the free throw line. And here's a look at some numbers for Smart.
And something has really clicked for him at the free throw line. In the past 5 games, his percentage at the line is much better than it had been prior. Sometimes that's how it works. A switch flips, and all of a sudden, you're locked in.
First free throw is good. So after making the first, he goes 1 for 2. Guys, you talk about players coming in and with a huge impact. Jason Tatum showed he was more than ready to be an NBA star.
Rare do you see a player as polished and as impactful as Tatum. Stepped right in to be one of the top players on a top team with Boston. Fits their system perfectly, and really the sky is the limit for that young man.
And he's going up for the alley-oop. And Adebayo throws it down.
Yeah, terrific recognition there from Butler. Outstanding at slicing passes through the D in that pick and roll.
And the layup's good off the glass. Walker's got the lead up to 13 now for the Celtics.
Doing a lot of nice work now from the field. He's helped get them this lead, and now he's helped them keep it.
Here's none. Guarded by Walker. Outside Butler. Shot clock at 6. It's rebounded by Tice. Tice has got his 4th rebound in this one.
A good board there, Kevin, but overall they're getting slightly out-rebounded. And everything is dropping for them. Terrific second half run.
Well, with the confidence growing, that's one thing, but they seem to be getting more intense, and that's helping the quality of their play here.
Here's Butler. Solid shot from the distance of about 14 feet. Butler's got 7 points in the game.
Well, he's 1 for 5 in the quarter, and his body language is saying a lot about where his confidence is. Rattled just a little bit. Maybe the next open look will start him up.
Brown outside. The Celtics need to get a shot off. And here's Tatum for 3. Goes back up, and that'll be 2 free throws coming up. Officials on the call with the foul.
And really the defense fouling there to prevent the layup, but that's exactly what you need to do.
For Boston, they have gone 2 for 3 at the foul line in this game. Good from Tice. Williams is checked in for the Celtics. Smart comes in for Gordon Hayward. And so he hits both. A few players now host podcasts, participate with those elements, with those vehicles during the season. Thoughts on that?
I think it's great. I think it's fantastic for our fan base and for our players to have an outlet, to have conversations and share a little bit more about their personality. It grows them as people, I think, Kevin, especially I've listened to J.J. Redick's many times over, and you learn something new, not only about players, but about their interests and how they're spending time. And I think if you were a young player, let's say you were a high school senior, or you're a college player, and you're listening to some of the things that guys are talking about and their experiences, I think it's invaluable for what it is that you don't know exists around a player in the NBA, and for you to start having considerations about how difficult the task is, how mentally taxing. So these things are great outlets for the players.
Iguodala kick still in it. Miami no good on that time either.
Just a solid performance on the interior. The rebounding has been off the charts.
Sinks the triple.
Defense shaking their heads. No idea how to stop him in this quarter. He's got him on the ropes.
Dragic dishes to Iguodala. Passes it to Crowder. Over Brown. Shot by Crowder, no good.
You know, the right thing there to try to fade away with the D all over him, but that is a difficult shot to sink.
Walker finds Williams. Williams looking around. Here's Smart. The basket is good off the assist from Williams. 6 points for Marcus Smart.
Pretty much all of their buckets coming from inside the paint down. They need a bucket in a big way here to regain some confidence.
To end the run, Williams with the block. Dragic against Smart to the paint and finished off by Williams.
Offensively, defensively, they are in total control.
Yeah, the other team a bit concerned here. They're trailing, and the lead seems to be growing.
Here's Dragic, and he makes good on the layup.
Well, getting the ball off the dribble to the bucket is one of Dragic's strengths. You can't afford to let him get that close to the rim, or he's going to get you.
And now, the first timeout called here for Boston.
Very rare for players to be elite defenders from the moment they set foot in the NBA, but that was the case for Marcus Smart. A tremendous physicality to go with a pit bull disposition has made him downright scary at times at that end of the floor.
The Heat making a switch here. Jones is checked in, and then for Boston. Enes Kanter comes in for Williams, and Brad Wanamaker subbed in for Kemba Walker. Now, here's Kanter. A look at his stats. He averages a bit over 8 points a game. You know, Greg, defense a given for Marcus Smart. The growth necessary for him has been at the offensive end.
And now, finally making progress as a three-point shooter. Had already made strides with his passing. He's becoming quite the two-way player.
Mid-range, plenty of room for that release. He's going to take those all day long.
Pass to Brown, puts up a three. They get the rebound.
Yeah, the defense there in chill mode. We all know he can burn them from three-point range.
Iguodala kicks to Dragic. Back to Iguodala. It's Crowder on the wing. He's a good contributor to his team, averaging about 10.5 points a game. Fouled in the act of shooting. Gets the bucket anyway, so a three-point play chance for him.
And what a half for this offense. If they can stay this hot, a great chance to extend this lead.
The Celtics shooting their 6th attempt at the charity stripe in the game. Brown, no good on the free throw.
And the vertical that Brown has is pretty impressive, as relentless a finisher as you'll find in our league. Clearly a foul.
The Heat have made 2/3 of their free throws tonight. 6 of 9 to be exact.
Shooting two.
No good on that one.
And just so frustrating for a team when you collectively go cold at the line. And that's happened to them here in the second half.
And he ends up missing both free throws.
Iguodala's leadership is really unsurpassed. Steve Kerr calling him the adult in the room. His teammates definitely listen and respect all things that he offers up.
Moving it around, 8 of their last 10 coming off assists.
Now Dragic shoots over Brown. Dragic gets the bucket. Dragic has got 8 points. And so it's the Boston Celtics cruising into the quarter break with a 22-point lead. From the field, they have been outstanding. Amazing shooting. That's what has them headed to a blowout. We've got more NBA basketball coming your way in just a minute. And let's take now this moment to bring up our State Farm assist of the game.
And he may not be known as a pass-first guy playing out of the 2-guard spot, but he shows here that he can dole out an assist or two when he needs to.
Even though the position is called shooting guard, passing part of your responsibilities in today's game.
And there have been two very different performances from these teams today as we get going in quarter number 4. In the middle, it's Olenek and Adebayo. Iguodala out there with Dragic, and it's Crowder in at the 3 spot. That's the group on the floor for Miami.
That's good footwork from the big man as Cantor aware defensively to get to that one.
And Wanamaker gets it to go.
That makes it 10 of their last 12 coming from inside the paint.
Iguodala kicks to Dragic. Brent, when a team hires a new coach, what tends to be the feelings of the players in that locker room, knowing there's a new voice?
If you are a veteran player, you have the opportunity, more than likely, Kevin, to call 5 or 6 resources that know who that coach is. Because most of the time, coaches that are getting hired have previous NBA experience. If you're a younger player, you're looking at what it is that's being written and said about that coach to try to evaluate how it is that you're going to fit in. The biggest responsibility, Kevin, is that new coach trying to get as many of those players into the facility or at a meeting or at a dinner to have them understand from day one, as soon as possible, what it is that they're about, what it is he's expecting from them, and how it is he's going to go about them. Then all the other things about guesswork, those go away.
All about communication.
That communication and communication as quick as you possibly can. That's an important factor.
And they've got a big lead, not just on the scoreboard, but really in the rebounding numbers as well.
Outside, Smart. Williams passes to Smart. And oh boy, a lot of contact there, but he gets the call and will shoot 2. It's going to be on Jay Crowder.
As tough as they get, Smart's a bulldog out there, does a good job of drawing contact, oftentimes by initiating it.
2 shots. Last on the first.
And the first one drops. If you were commissioner, Brent, of the NBA, would you add or alter any rules right now?
Wow. First of all, I think you get to fly on a really nice plane wherever you're going, and you get to go to any game you want to.
Yes.
So sign me up
with
for that
courtside
job.
seats, by the way, too.
Add or alter any NBA rules. I think the game is in a pretty good place right now, Kevin. And there's not much that I think is out there for us to change.
It seems like All-Star Weekend and the length of the season seems to be 2 pretty prominent things that continually come up.
Yeah, and as far as the question, I guess my head was going to things that are on the floor.
I was thinking that too, but I couldn't think of anything that really...
On the floor, it's tough to figure out something that could be adjusted, and I know Adam Silver and David Stern before him, all of their concern mostly is about the optics of the game. And right now, it's in a pretty good spot.
It's very pleasing to watch, there's no doubt. Here's Walker. And that one hits back iron. For Miami, they've gone 1 of 5 from the field here in the 4th. A lot of misses, just the 1 make. And it's Butler missing. Austin leading by 23. Shoots the 3. And it's Walker that time on the assist from Smart. Smart's got assist number 5 here tonight.
And he's kind of always had that shoot-first mentality for a point guard. And when you can shoot it like Walker, it's not necessarily a bad thing.
Stolen by Smart. Here's Nunn. Robinson passes to Nunn. Robinson drives in. Good work there as it goes.
Yeah, I love the communication and the chemistry between those teammates.
And Walker's got the ball here for Boston. Here in the 4th, they've allowed just 4 points. Hayward outside. Pass to Tice. Back to Hayward. From deep. And they force the shot clock violation. Great team. Brent, with advanced analytics becoming commonplace in the NBA, which stats do you personally hold most valuable?
Well, it's amazing to talk about effective field goal percentage. I laugh a lot
Which is everything shooting. Free throws.
Yeah, well, I like to use true shooting percentage, Kevin, because that's where you adopt 3-point shooting percentage, 2-point shooting percentage, and your free throw percentage.
Everything.
But in talking to a lot of people around the league, general managers and coaches, I laugh inside to myself a little bit like, oh, so now shooting's important? Like what? Like now shooting's important around the league?
Right.
As if, the time that you go out to start playing basketball, you grab a ball, you go towards the goal, and your goal is to make the shot. And so we're talking so much more about how much shooting is valued. Effective field goal percentage is tremendous, with true shooting percentage being not far behind.
And you look at Jimmy Butler. Goes about 6'8", about 230 pounds. Great size on the wing.
And he keeps himself in tip-top shape. His strength, one thing I'm not sure the casual fan even recognizes.
Boston making a switch here. Tatum, he's checked in for Williams. Hayward comes in for Shemi Ojeleye. Jaylen Brown's checked in for Green, and it's Kemba Walker in for Edwards. That free throw good from Butler. And great, when you look at the top perimeter defenders in the game today, how high does Jimmy Butler rank on that list?
Look, he's in the top handful, no doubt about it. Multiple all-defense selections. He is a true two-way terror.
There are only a few players in the league who can hit a teammate like that in stride. Beautiful assist.
And taken away by Brown. Here's Tatum. Good work defensively by Jones.
And the pressure he put on that shot forced the miscue.
Those are all the little things about effort there. He just gets out there and contests, and that's just enough.
Here's Nunn, guarded by Walker. Clock at 4. Nunn can't get it to fall. Celtics leading by 23. Walker the pass to Tice. To the inside. Great pass to set up the layup.
A young guy with maturity, awareness, and a feel for the game. Tatum is special.
Kicks to Butler. And obviously some good players have taken less money for a chance at a winning championship situation. That's made some rich teams even better.
Well, you have to appreciate a player in that regard, thinking that the financial gains that he could have somewhere else and playing for a team that's not capable of doing what it is that you're trying to do, and that's win a championship, that they've decided, look, it's not about that for me. What it is about the experience of being around a team that elevates itself to being the best team in the league. And if you're fortunate enough at the highest level, Kevin, as a basketball player, to be around a championship, that experience sticks with you for a lifetime. So you do appreciate guys looking for those opportunities to be around a champion.
And Jones sends it back. And the pass to Nunn. 1:39 left in the fourth. Dish now to Jones. And the bucket is good. 3-point play chance here for him.
How about that one? Able to maintain control and finish the play.
Derek Jones gets talked about a lot in terms of his dunking prowess and the way that he can get up in the air and maybe make a poster and a memory in the flash of an eye. But beyond the dunks, he's done a good job of really improving his game since coming into the league in 2016.
Williams passes to Ojeleye. Back to Williams. Over in the corner, Green. No good on the three. Hey, Brent, for Derek Jones, he saw the floor a good amount in his first full season with the Miami Heat.
Derek Jones is somebody that the Miami Heat continue to explore. And I guess if you're within that organization in Miami for a number of seasons, they like something about your competitive spirit. And that's where Derek Jones has probably found a home here in Miami.
Here's Ojeleye, defended by Jones. Shoots it up. They get it back, and Williams is right there.
And they came in determined to take this one. It's going to be a happy flight home.
Yeah, when you step into an opposing team's arena and you can play with this type of composure, boy, that food tastes good on the way out of town.
Passes to Akpala. The Heat need to get a shot off. Hill, no good. These guys have had some good motion on offense. Nice assisting.
And when everyone's involved offensively, it has a way of helping you on the defensive side as well.
And here's Edwards. And so it's Boston easily grabbing this one. To come into an opponent's building and dominate the way they did tonight says, I think, Greg, an awful lot about this team.
I guess they don't need home cooking to feel at home. I mean, Kevin, just a masterful performance all the way around.
Well, folks, that's going to do it for now. For Greg Anthony, Brett Berry, and David Aldridge, this is Kevin Harlan. Thank you for watching the NBA, presented by 2K Sports. See you later.